So what does the crazy Mamod enthusiast do on a day when we've got feet and inches and inches of snow? He goes and fills his kettle with snow to boil to make water for steam. Normally I have, well, I do have a bucket, a 20 litre bucket full of, rainwater, which is what I use in order to, for my clean water, because even though I live in a relatively soft water area, it's still, I kind of like the idea of using the rainwater and, recycling to an extent. So I just thought, well, let's try some snow just for the sheer laugh, because we don't get a lot of snow here anyway. It's very, very rare that we get any degree, anything more than a spattering. So to see it thick on the ground, it's quite excellent, really. So I swept it off to the top of the little bunker in the garden and boiled it up, which is an insane thing to do, I grant you, but I just thought, well, what the hell, So this is my long boiler steamroller, my first ever Mamod project that me and my dad built together when I first started collecting some 15 years hence. Now it's basically a TE1 with the wheels and running gear from a sort of mid-60s roller. It worn out essentially. The crank, you could flop it round in the engine frame pretty much like no tomorrow. So what I did, in order to try and sort of save it and rectify it without ripping it to bits, because I'm quite sentimental about this whole thing, I decided to get some brass KNS tube, the right internal diameter for the crank, and then proceed to drill out the engine frame to suit, which in this case I think was about 7/32. Soldered them in as like bearings, if you will. And then, so I've not actually run it since I made the repair. Matches are damp. Where's the lighter? Ah, there it is. There's always some form of trouble with ignition, generally, which is probably the single most annoying thing that any of us face. I have various lighters, numerous Zippos, but they're empty. A couple of these horrendous cheapy plastic affairs, which, as you can see, are temperamental at best, but we now have ignition. I'm probably going to set fire to the bench here. There you go, lo and behold. That is a bit of a specialty of mine. So now we've got water and heat. Let's see if we can make some oil flow. I mean, it's that cold that there was actually frozen water on the bench from the last thing that I ran, and I can't remember what that was, to be fair. So anyway, let's give it a good old smattering of steam oil. It's like I say, she's quite a worn engine, really. And the pressure gauge is what I fitted when I originally built the thing. all those years ago. It was like something I just wanted to do, so I did, because they were fairly cheap then. I mean, they're an extortionate amount of money now, but then it come up at the right money, this one, and that's what I decided to fit in the day. But everything else is original to the project, including, well, yeah, the paint. Obviously all the black bits are done in Humbrol. The boiler paint's original. The wheels are Humbroled, because that's all I knew how to do in those days. I'm still not much of a painter, but I certainly wasn't then. So this is just as you see it, really. I say it's my oldest project. I've had it the longest time, 15 years nearly. And it always seems to do a good turn, despite being completely and utterly worn out. Oh, nearly. Like I say, I've not run it since the repair, apart from a quick air test to make sure everything was tight and true. But otherwise, I've not done anything with it. We're coming up to pressure. Have we got anything on the gauge? I'm getting there. It's coming up now. And that is the bonus of filling in with hot water, obviously, is that they take a lot less time to run up, which is good when times at a premium. What the devil? Oh, nearly. And there we have it, it runs. Sounds nice and quiet now, to be fair. I mean, it was horrendously bad before, clanking away. I mean, it got to a point where it didn't even stop itself running. It was that baggy. But it seems to be doing okay. I'm slightly concerned that my pressure gauge from Tony Green's might have melted itself. Been sat above the firebox run. That's where the other one, the original one that failed after I dropped the engine, that's where the original was, and it never had any problem. But this one just looks quite alarming, so that's going to have to come off and be stripped apart, I think, and see what we got there. But there you go. There's one crazy steamroller hybrid affair up and running after a repair. There you go. Quite reasonable as ever. I'm fairly flying now, look. There we go, that's on melted snow and lots of oil. Happy days. Thanks for watching.